What's up YouTube, Mr. Gizmo here. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a science experiment. So as you can see, this is my roof line and it is called a flat roof. It's not like a peaky roof that you're kind of used to seeing on maybe on more modern houses. This house is over 75 years old. The attic space is basically right there, and there's no room to walk around, crawl around, and get any insulation in there. Obviously, best bang for the buck for me would be to get up in there and insulate the house, but it's just not possible in the climate that I'm in Northern California. My summers are more expensive, so it's more expensive for me to cool the house than it is for me to heat up the house in the winter, because we have just longer and hotter summer days, and there are more of them in terms of the number of months that are hot. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be coating my roof. So my roof right now is tar, and that tar is black, as you can imagine. And as we know, black absorbs all colors, and sunlight and visible light is energy, and that energy basically transfers into heat. And so through all of the roofing material and all of the wood and the trusses and the rafters and the joists, it goes through and radiates and conducts all the way down to the ceiling, and then radiates the heat into the rooms. So the house actually gets pretty hot. The surface of the roof, because it's so black, it gets to about 170, 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's really hot. The attic is around 150, 160. And then, as you can imagine, it goes through and propagates and radiates into the living space. So the approach that I'm going to take is I'm going to coat my roof with a coating. It's obviously going to be white, to try to reflect or not absorb as much of that light and energy and heat and transfer it to the house. So before coating, it's suggested that you actually fix all of the roof leaks. Last year I went around all of the vent tubes, the chimney, and any other places where I saw there were nicks in the roof, because once the coating is on, it's actually hard to do that. So other than just cooling the house, what will also happen is it'll actually protect the roof, right, and prolong the lifespan of the roof, as the roof material will not be melting as much and degrading with heat. Approximate life of the coating is about 10 to 15 years. So if you are about to replace your roof, or your roof is in a really bad shape, I wouldn't suggest coating it, right? Because that's actually a pretty significant investment, as we'll see, in terms of the coating that I got from Home Depot. I got an elastomeric coating, which basically means it's kind of this rubberized material that once it dries, it's a little bit rubberized. It does protect from some water penetration, but it's not good for standing water. And I went with elastomeric acrylic coating rather than silicone, because silicone just stinks really bad. It does last a little bit longer, but it also costs about twice as much. Alright, it's almost 3 p.m. It's 99 degrees. Here is my infrared gun. Ceiling in baby's room. Okay, master bedroom. Alright, so I'm up on the roof now. I'm going to apply this first coat here. Alright, first coat done. I'm gonna wait for it to dry for a couple hours. Okay, up here for day 2 to do the second coat. I'm just applying it with a roller. Unfortunately, my extension broke, so I have to do it kind of on my knees, but it is what it is. And I'm wearing all kinds of stuff that I can not worry about getting dirty or paint over. I stayed away from some of the flashings and the edges there, as you can tell, just in case I need to fix anything later, since this does not do well with ponding water, which I know I have right in here. And the results are pretty staggering. So as you can see here, I've taken some of these points exactly a year apart. And so on a day when there was 86 degrees ambient temperature, the attic, which is basically an oven in our house, was getting some of the ceiling temperatures to a hotter degree than when we did it this year after the coating. And the ambient temperature was almost 15 degrees higher. Now let's talk about cost. I might not have done Henry's coating. Maybe if I had to do it again, I would have tried a cheaper alternative, which I will link in the description. There was an article on builditsolar.com, David's white roof experiment project. And what he actually did is he said, listen, it's too much money to buy some of these elastomeric roof coatings. Gonna cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So how about we try using hydrated lime? 50-pound bag is like $7 to $10, and you can basically do the entire roof. But interestingly, what he found is that the house temperature with uncoated roof or unpainted roof in his case was about 87 to 92 degrees, depending I guess on which room and what time of the day it was. However, after the coating it was 79 to 82, so basically about 10-degree difference. And this most recent data point, when the ambient was about 99 to 101, we actually barely needed to turn on the air conditioning, only for about like half an hour toward the end of the day when it really got super hot inside the house. Wife usually runs a little bit on the hotter side. She was actually really surprised at how well this worked. So thumbs up from me. Like I said, for me, because the cost they'll have to amortize over a couple of years of energy savings of not running air conditioning as much, but I'll try to post some of the updates in the coming years.